Hello and welcome to Blocs Master. My name is Elder and this is the new tutorial in which I will show you how to change the order of the elements based on the device size or breakpoint you are viewing this content on. So basically this is actually for one of my customers, Don. So hello Don, but I think it will be useful to many other people, so I have decided to record a tutorial for this. So we will be taking a look at something like this. So for now, I will just show you a good example from like minimalist library. I cannot use this example because I have already optimized these sections. So if we switch to other breakpoints, you can see that even though by default we have the image on the left, so it appears first in the layer tree, you can see here the image. When we switch to the smaller breakpoints, even though it is still first, you can see that now it shows second, so after the text. So I have done that for all of the sections I have in minimalist library, but what if you want to do this from scratch? So for that, let's use the built-in default blocks, which are also fine, but of course these are not as optimized as my minimalist library. So let's choose one of the blocks, let's say this one. So we have an image here. It is located inside a column on the left, which appears first, and then in the second column we have text. So there are some headings, text, paragraph text, and button. So what we want to do, we want on desktop for image to be on the left, but when we go to smaller breakpoints, so starting from SM, for example, we want image to be not the first, but second. We want to show the content first, because image kind of occupies a lot of space and maybe it's not the best idea, maybe not the design you're looking for. And as you can see, two of these smaller breakpoints have image first, and here it is on the side. So on the side it's fine, but for SM and XS, let's move it below the text. And there are many ways to do that. As always in blocks, if we would use something like flex, I think I will show you that actually at the end of this video. It's not the best way because it is such simple built-in feature, you don't even need to use flex, but if you want, I will show you how to do that in a second. So using the regular column order settings, you can see here in the sidebar we have order. So we can select the column and change the order if it appears first or second. And whatever changes you make here will be breakpoint specific. So let's say that for the LG and MD, the big breakpoints, we will leave this MacBook on the left, but when we go to SM breakpoint, let's move it to the second order. So we will take this order setting and make it second, but see what happens. Even though I just put at 1, it is already switched to the second position. And this is because by default it is actually set to 0. So you can see that by default this one set to 0. So 1 is already greater than 0. As you can see now, by setting it to 1, it is second. If we go to the smaller breakpoints, we need to do this once more, 1. But keep in mind that it will also affect the larger breakpoints if you set it to the mobile, because, well, Bootstrap is mobile first. So we need to go to MD breakpoint and then switch to 0 here. And this one actually will apply to LG breakpoint as well. You can see it is now set to 0. So for LG, we have it to 0, MD, we have it at 0, and then SM and XS, we have it at 1. You can see here. And it means that this element is kind of appearing below the text. Of course, well, we will probably need to add some top margin to have some space between these two elements here as well. And because we've done that, again, we don't want this margin on MD and LG breakpoint. So for this, we will set it to 0, like this. And that's basically it. This is how we can easily change the order of the elements for different breakpoints using the column width and offset settings. Well, not width and offset settings. In this case, it is column order settings, but width and offset settings. This is completely different thing, but also useful. So for example, let's say here we don't want it to be so wide. We can always do that using the handle here in the sidebar, like this and like this. So let's say we want it to be positioned more in the center. Again, if we've done that for smaller breakpoints, it will affect the larger breakpoints. So we always need to go back and change the settings here. As promised, let me quickly show you how you can go around doing something like this if you're using flex, which is much more complex when it needs to be in this point. But let's say that you have a column inside which you have an image, and then inside here you also have, let's say, div container inside which we will have heading and text like this. So if we would do something like that, let's say that this image is a little bit smaller and we can add the class to this, let's say feature, whatever, we can call it whatever you want. And if you enable flex, you can see that we will get this kind of similar design, so similar layout. We can adjust how this looks. Well, we can just set the gap here to something like 20 or maybe 50. Why not? Maybe it's even more useful sometimes because we can set the vertical gap as well. But anyway, this is how it looks here. And let's say that for different breakpoint, so for this one, and make it much smaller like this. Something like that. So I don't like to have margin here, something like this. So for this breakpoint, we will have something like this. And then for this one, we want image to appear first. Well, actually, we can even start this MD breakpoint. If you want to change it here, you can always go to flex, and you can see on the big breakpoint on LG, we set the direction from left to right. You can change it here from right to left. And for this one, we can make it from top to bottom or bottom to top. You can see this way they will be changed. And the settings we set here for gap are also adjustable. So let's say that for this breakpoint, we want it to be a little bit closer. Yeah, pretty much like that. For image style, let's say that for mobile, we want it to be 100%. And for this, we can set it to, let's say, 50%, like this. As you can see, using Flex does have it kind of easier a little bit because you can then reapply this class to other sections, other pages, and it will follow the same design, same adjustments you do. But again, it is so simple feature. You can just use this order in the settings and it will give you the same similar effect, and you don't need to create any classes for that. If you have any questions, please leave them in the comments below or on the forum, for example, if you're watching this on a forum. And if you have any questions, you can always also contact me directly, if you're a Blocs Master member especially, and I will do my best to help you with everything I can. I will catch you in the next video. Goodbye.